Welcome back, guys. This is week 2 of the book challenge. We're going to be reviewing the next 30 pages of the Qur'an, pages 30 to 60. And if you thought week 1 was good, wait till this one. All right, so these next 30 pages were very interesting. The first thing that stood out to me was God saying, "Remember me, I'll remember you." I thought that was really interesting because how much times in life are you just kind of, thinking that God's up in the sky or whatever, for example. Not caring, you don't feel connected, but God's literally telling you in the Quran, if you remember me, I will remember you. What that means deeper, in my opinion, I think, if you have awareness of God, if you're constantly thinking about Him, constantly conscious of Him, He will also remember you. You'll connect it that way if He's in your heart. So if you're connected to the divine, you're connected to God automatically. If it's in your head, you're always going to be connected to God that way. And I thought that was really interesting because...
Yeah, and I think that that also could mean if you take your time out of your day to remember God, He'll end up helping you and also kind of remembering you.
And it's interesting too because Muslims pray 5 times a day at 5 different times, and it's almost like that by design because it breaks out your day where you have to spend 5-10 minutes praying and remembering God. It's almost like we need to remember God to be able to be guided and to exist, and that's how He remembers us, when we remember Him. Okay, the next verse that stood out to me, and I had to write it down: spend in the way of Allah and do not throw yourselves with your own hands into destruction. I thought that was a really powerful verse.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, what comes to mind on a surface level is probably like spending your money with the right things, right? Like, do you have any examples of...
Or it could mean when God blesses you and remembers you and gives you money or gives you something, don't use it for something bad and destroy yourself, end up hurting yourself.
Right. It's like God saying, I'm blessing you with things. Spend it in the way of what I'm teaching you. Spend it in goodness. Spend it in what I'm telling you is good and bad. Don't spend it in things that are bad.
Don't take it as an opportunity to commit a sin or do anything bad like that.
I also think it has a deeper meaning with greed. If you think about somebody, if it's kind of like the flow of energy. You're getting all these blessings, you're getting all these things, and you don't give. That means all that energy is trapped within you. It's not coming out of you, and it begins to decay. The more you have, the more arrogant you become, the more prideful you are. But if you start giving the blessings, it's a constant flow of energy going in and out.
Okay, so the next quote that we found really interesting was, Allah is the protector of those who believe. He brings them out of darkness into light. So I think that what that means is that when God guides you, He kind of brings you out of darkness into light.
Yeah, I think what it means, it's saying literally what it means. You're lost and God will guide you out of it. And I also think it has a deeper meaning, just like pretty much every verse in the Quran. It's almost as if the only light you can really rely on is God.
Believing
in God, right. And if you rely on that, the darkness doesn't mean you're just in a dark room and evil and stuff. It means you're also unaware. God is what's going to illuminate you because He's what created you.
And also when it says Allah is your protector, He's protecting you from taking you out of the darkness, which is not the real guidance, and bringing you into the light, which is guiding you towards the right path. So He's really protecting you.
Yeah, and I honestly think one of the scariest things I've heard is the worst punishment in hell isn't necessarily the fire, the punishment itself, burning or whatever. It's more of you're completely disconnected from God at that point. Can you imagine? You say, oh my God, God help me, and there's no connection anymore. You're completely disconnected from whoever made you. And that's, I think, the worst punishment ever. And that's why God has the power to guide you. And we should be thankful for that because it allows us to always have a connection to the Creator.
Okay, so this one we found really interesting. The quote is, to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, just reading it, just how it was. It's saying that God owns everything. And I think what that implies is basically nothing here is permanent. You've heard the saying, you can't take everything with you to the grave because it's not yours. You can't, it wasn't, it's made for you, but at the end of the day, everything goes back to God. The sun, the stars, gravity, time, everything's created with the Creator.
Okay, and I think that also means everything is not completely yours. So if you have something like a car it's all gonna end up like there's no reason of really having it after you die. Like everything is on loan because everything belongs to the Creator.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned everything's on loan. And the biggest loan I think we have is our bodies and souls and the opportunity. I think that's the biggest loan. And if it's such a big loan, it comes up with a big responsibility. And I think that responsibility is kind of stated clearly in the Qur'an, what you're supposed to do with it. It's supposed to be good.
Okay, so another one we found really interesting is He is the one who shapes you in the womb and however He wills. I think this has a deeper meaning, and the deeper meaning is that God chooses how He makes you, and He kind of wants to see how you're going to deal with it and how you're going to live, and if you're just going to give up or you're just going to keep going with like what He gave you. Like if He gave you a disability or He put you in an environment that doesn't have a lot of money or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's like what's the, what's the process? Like when He's making a human being, does He give him naturally more confidence? Does He give him better looks? Does He give him, handicaps? I don't know, but everything comes with an equation. Everybody's unique, and everybody's uniqueness also has its challenges and its gifts. So it's almost like God saying, like, I'm giving you this. This is your specific test with what I'm giving you.
And I also feel like the test, it's kind of like however you are made, if you like it or not, how like you'll go back to God and ask Him for guidance.
I think this last verse is a good one to end with. It goes, never will the souls touch death except by the permission of Allah. That one's pretty heavy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's essentially saying is,
You can't die unless
God's telling you you're gonna die. No matter what you do, whether it's risky or whether you're trying to stay safe, doesn't matter. If it's written for you to die, you're gonna die.
Okay,
So to expand on that, if God gives the permission to when you die, He also must give permission to other things. So when you receive blessings, when you become rich, when you get married, when you have kids. So I guess at the end of the day, God has the power with everything. He's the one that gives permission to things. We can ask and make the right choices, but it's all up to Him whether He grants something or not. And also keep in mind, that goes with people harming you. If God hasn't written it for you to be harmed,
you can't be harmed.
You can't be harmed no matter what, even if there's a military coming after you. Okay guys, so that was week 2 of the Quran, pages 30 to 60. For next week will be week 3. We're going to be reading pages 60 to 90. And I'm sure, as always, we're going to have plenty of interesting things to talk about.